Your entire life is an inside job. The truth is, the world you experience on the outside, your financial situation, your relationships, your career, and your health, is a perfect and undeniable mirror reflection of the world you hold on the inside. Your outer reality is not a random collection of circumstances. It is a direct projection of the dominant beliefs, thoughts, and feelings that populate your own inner universe. We have been taught to fight with the reflection, to struggle to change our outer world, without ever realizing that the power to create a new reality lies not in changing the world, but in transforming ourselves. This guide is your personal telescope, a powerful instrument for exploring the vast, magnificent, and creative universe that exists within you. It will teach you how to map this inner world, how to heal its past, and how to plant the seeds for a magnificent new future that will, by universal law, inevitably be reflected back to you as a life of boundless abundance. The Universe Within, How Your Inner World Creates Your Outer Reality, written and published by Success Attraction Formula. Chapter 1. Mapping Your Inner Universe of Beliefs. Imagine you are an ancient astronomer, but instead of a telescope pointed toward the vast, starry expanse of the night sky, you are given a powerful and magical instrument that allows you to look inward, into the equally vast and mysterious universe of your own consciousness. What would you see? As you peer through this inner telescope, you would begin to discover the hidden architecture of your own reality. You would see the bright, glowing suns of your greatest joys and passions. You would see the dark, empty spaces of your unhealed griefs. And most importantly, you would begin to see the powerful, invisible structures that hold it all together. Your constellations of belief. You would discover that your life is not a random scattering of stars, but a highly organized system, governed by the powerful gravitational pull of a few core beliefs that were formed long ago. You might discover a constellation named I Am Not Worthy, whose gravitational pull subtly keeps opportunities at a safe distance. You might find another named Money is a Struggle, whose powerful force ensures that your financial life is always an uphill battle. The great challenge we all face is that we are living our entire lives under the influence of these powerful, invisible forces without ever being aware that they exist. We are trying to change our outer world, to rearrange the planets of our circumstances, without ever understanding the deep, inner gravitational forces that are constantly pulling them back into their old, familiar orbits. The first and most foundational step in creating a new outer reality is to become a brave and curious explorer of your own inner universe. You must be willing to turn the telescope inward and to create a clear, honest, and compassionate map of your current inner landscape. This is the art of self-mapping. It is a gentle, non-judgmental process of identifying the dominant constellations of belief that are currently shaping and creating your life. This is not an exercise in self-criticism. It is a powerful act of self-awareness. You cannot navigate to a new destination in the cosmos without first knowing your current position. In the same way, you cannot consciously create a new reality until you are first conscious of the inner beliefs that are creating your present one. When you can see your beliefs clearly, not as unchangeable truths, but as old, energetic patterns, you reclaim your power over them. You move from being a passive object affected by the gravity of your past to the conscious, powerful astronomer who can choose to chart a course toward a brand new and brilliant constellation of your own choosing. To begin this process of self-mapping, it is crucial to first understand the language of your inner universe. The primary language is not thought, but feeling. Your emotions are the data, the celestial light that reveals the location of your most powerful beliefs. The practice for this is to become a mindful observer of your own emotional landscape. Throughout your day, begin to pay attention to your recurring feelings, especially the challenging ones. When you feel a surge of anxiety about money, or a pang of envy when you see someone else's success, or a familiar feeling of resignation about your career, you will learn to pause. Instead of getting lost in the feeling, you will ask with gentle curiosity, what is the belief that is generating this feeling? A feeling of anxiety about money is always powered by a belief, such as there is never enough, or I am not capable of managing money well. A feeling of envy is often powered by the belief, good things happen for others, but not for me. Your feelings are the breadcrumbs that will lead you directly to the powerful, hidden constellations of belief. You can keep a small journal for a week, a belief log, where you note down the recurring feelings you experience and the potential beliefs that are fueling them. This practice of connecting your feelings to their underlying beliefs is the first step in mapping the invisible forces that are shaping your life. With this new awareness, you can then begin the formal belief audit. This is the central practice of mapping your inner universe. In your journal, you will create sections for the key areas of your life: finances, career, relationships, and health. Under each heading, you will write down your honest answers to a series of probing questions. For finances, you might ask, what is the story I have always believed about money? Is it a story of ease or of struggle? What did my parents teach me about wealth? For career, you might ask, what have I always assumed to be true about my own capabilities and talents? Do I believe I am meant for great things or for a life of quiet mediocrity? For relationships, what is my core belief about my own lovability and my worthiness to receive love? Be radically honest with yourself. This is a private exploration. The goal is to get the entirety of your inner universe down on paper, to create a comprehensive map of all the constellations, both the bright and the dark. For example, a man doing this exercise might discover that under finances, he holds a powerful belief that you have to sacrifice your life to be rich, which he inherited from his overworked father. Under relationships, he might find the belief, I always end up getting hurt, which was formed after a painful breakup in his past. Seeing these beliefs written down, he can now recognize them not as absolute truths, a fixed part of the cosmos, but as old, historical patterns that can be understood and updated. As you create this map, it is vital to approach the process with the spirit of a compassionate cartographer, not a harsh critic. You will be uncovering beliefs that have caused you pain and limitation. The temptation will be to judge yourself for holding them, but you must remember that every single one of your beliefs was formed for a reason, usually as a way to make sense of the world or to protect you when you were younger and more vulnerable. The belief that it's not safe to stand out might have been formed to protect you from being teased in school. The belief that money is hard to come by might have been a logical conclusion based on your childhood environment. The practice of compassionate inquiry is to look at each limiting belief on your map and to say to it with genuine compassion, I understand why you are here. I understand how you were trying to protect me. Thank you for your service. This act of compassion immediately dissolves the emotional charge of shame and self-blame. It allows you to look at your inner map not as a record of your flaws, but as a beautiful and intricate story of your own survival and your own journey. This compassion is the key that will allow you to later redraw this map with love and wisdom. You have now created a detailed, honest, and compassionate map of your own inner universe. You have turned the telescope inward and bravely looked at the constellations of belief that have been silently and powerfully shaping your outer reality. You are no longer navigating blindly. But as you look at your beautiful new map, you may notice that some areas of your inner landscape are overgrown with thorny, tangled weeds, the painful and resilient remnants of your past. How do you now begin the sacred and necessary work of clearing the soil of your inner garden? How do you gently but thoroughly uproot the old weeds of past hurts and limitations to make space for something new and beautiful to grow? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula. Give this video a like and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 2. Uprooting the Weeds of Your Past. A master gardener knows a profound and fundamental truth. Before you can plant a magnificent new garden, you must first prepare the soil. You can have the most beautiful, high-quality seeds in the world, seeds that hold the potential for stunning flowers and nourishing fruits. But if you scatter them on hard, uncultivated ground that is overgrown with stubborn and thorny weeds, your seeds will not be able to grow. The weeds, with their deep and established root systems, will steal the sunlight, the water, and the vital nutrients from the soil, choking the life out of your tender new sprouts before they even have a chance to take hold. In the same way, the inner universe of your consciousness is a garden, and for many of us, this inner garden has become overgrown with the resilient weeds of our past. These weeds are the old hurts, the unprocessed griefs, the lingering resentments, and the painful memories of past failures and traumas. These energetic weeds create a toxic and infertile environment in our inner world. Their deep roots, the subconscious emotional charge they still carry, continue to draw our life force and our attention, and they actively block new positive experiences from taking root. We try to plant the new seeds of abundance, of joy, and of love, but they are choked out by the dense and thorny overgrowth of our unhealed past. The transformative and most essential work you can do for your inner garden is the sacred process of uprooting the weeds. You must become a loving, patient, and compassionate gardener of your own soul. This is not a violent or painful process. You are not going to attack your own past with anger or force. The work of a wise gardener is gentle but thorough. It is the process of kneeling down in the soil of your own history, of looking at the weeds with understanding, and of gently and lovingly loosening their grip until they can be removed, root and all, making way for the beautiful new garden you wish to plant. This process is one of the most liberating and life-changing things you will ever do. Each time you successfully uproot an old weed of resentment or a thorny bush of past hurt, you reclaim a vast amount of your own creative life force. You are no longer watering the past. You are free to nourish your future. You are transforming the soil of your consciousness from a hard, choked, and infertile ground into a soft, rich, and receptive space where the magnificent seeds of your new reality can not only sprout, but can flourish and grow to their fullest potential. The first step in this gardening process is to learn to identify the weeds. Many of these weeds have been growing in our inner garden for so long that we have mistaken them for the natural landscape. The most effective way to spot them is to pay attention to your emotional triggers. A trigger is any situation, person, or comment in your present-day life that elicits a strong, disproportionate, and often painful emotional reaction from you. That strong reaction is a signal. It is the part of the weed that is visible above the ground, and it is telling you that a sensitive, unresolved root from your past has just been touched. For example, you are in a meeting at work, and a colleague dismisses your idea. Instead of feeling a mild sense of disappointment, you feel a massive wave of shame and anger that ruins your entire day. This disproportionate reaction is your clue. It is not about your colleague. It is a weed. Your practice is to become a trigger detective. When you experience one of these strong emotional reactions, you will not get lost in the drama of the present situation. You will pause, and you will gently ask yourself, what is this feeling really about? What older, deeper hurt does this remind me of? In the case of the dismissed idea, your inquiry might lead you to a painful memory of being criticized by a parent as a child and feeling unseen and unheard. You have just identified a powerful weed, the unresolved pain of not feeling valued. Once a weed has been identified, you must gently but firmly uproot it. The single most powerful and effective tool for uprooting the weeds of the past is the practice of forgiveness. It is crucial to understand that forgiveness in this context is not about condoning the hurtful behavior of others, and it does not necessarily mean you have to reconcile with them. Forgiveness is a practical and powerful act of energetic hygiene that you do entirely for yourself. Holding on to resentment and anger is like choosing to let a toxic weed continue to grow in your beautiful garden. It poisons your soil and drains your life force. Forgiveness is the act of deciding that you are no longer willing to let that weed live in your space. The practice for this is the forgiveness ritual. Find a quiet and private space. In your journal, you will write a letter to the person or situation from your past that you are ready to forgive. Pour out all of your unprocessed emotions onto the page, your anger, your sadness, your hurt. Then you will write the words of release. I understand that you were doing the best you could with the awareness you had at the time. For the sake of my own peace, my own freedom, and the health of my own garden, I now choose to forgive you. I release you. I release the situation, and I release myself from the burden of carrying this pain. After writing, you will perform a symbolic release by safely burning the letter or tearing it up, visualizing the heavy, toxic energy of the weed leaving your inner world for good. Just as important as forgiving others is the act of forgiving yourself. Many of us carry the heavy weeds of past mistakes, failures, and choices that we regret. We hold ourselves to a standard of perfection that we would never demand of anyone else, and we allow the weeds of guilt and self-criticism to choke our garden. You must extend the same compassionate forgiveness to yourself that you extend to others. You must look back at the younger version of you who made that mistake, not with judgment, but with deep compassion. The practice is the self-forgiveness dialogue. In a quiet moment, you will close your eyes and visualize the version of you from that past painful moment. You will see them not as a bad person, but as a person who was doing the very best they could with the knowledge, the awareness, and the emotional resources they had at that time. You will then, in your mind's eye, speak to them. You might say, "I see you. I understand why you made that choice. You were trying to protect yourself, or you simply did not know any better. I forgive you. You are loved, and you are released from this burden." This act of self-compassion is a powerful solvent that dissolves the hard, stubborn roots of guilt and shame, allowing the soil of your inner world to become soft, receptive, and fertile once again. You are now lovingly and courageously clearing the soil of your inner garden, making space for a new and beautiful reality to take root. You are uprooting the old, painful weeds of the past, one by one, and reclaiming the precious life force that they have been consuming for years. A beautiful, fertile, receptive, and pristine space is now being created within your inner universe. So the exciting question now becomes, what magnificent new seeds will you now choose to plant in this fertile and receptive soil? How do you consciously and deliberately select the powerful seeds of intention that will, with your loving care, grow into a magnificent and abundant harvest? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 3. Planting the Seeds of Your Abundance. A wise farmer stands at the edge of a freshly tilled and beautifully prepared field. The soil is rich and fertile, the sun is warm, and the conditions are perfect for a magnificent harvest. In their hands they hold a bag of precious, high-quality seeds. The farmer knows that this very moment, the moment of planting, is one of the most crucial in the entire creative cycle. The future of their entire harvest, the quality and the quantity of the fruits they will enjoy months from now, depends entirely on the quality of the seeds they choose to plant right now, and the care with which they plant them. This is the sacred and powerful position you now find yourself in. You have done the profound work of mapping your inner universe and of lovingly clearing the soil of your consciousness by uprooting the old weeds of your past. You are now standing before the beautiful, fertile, and receptive field of your own potential. The conditions are perfect. The great challenge that many people face at this stage is that they do not approach the act of planting with the conscious intention of a master farmer. They either fall back into their old habitual patterns of negative thinking, effectively replanting the same old weeds they just worked so hard to remove, or their desires are so vague and unfocused that it is the equivalent of scattering a random handful of mystery seeds into the field and simply hoping for the best. To create a magnificent and predictable harvest of abundance, you must become a conscious and deliberate sower of seeds. The transformative solution is to embrace your role as a conscious planter. You must understand that every clear, focused, and emotionally charged intention you hold is a powerful and sacred seed. This seed is not just a hopeful thought, it is a complete energetic blueprint, a spiritual DNA that contains all the information and the potential for a future physical reality. The act of planting is the act of consciously and deliberately introducing this energetic seed into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind and the wider quantum field. When you learn to select your seeds with clarity and to plant them with love and intention, you are no longer leaving your life's harvest to chance. You are moving from a passive hope for a better future to an active and empowered act of creation in the present. You are the wise farmer who knows with calm certainty that the quality of the seeds they plant today will directly determine the quality of the abundance they will harvest tomorrow. The first principle of a conscious planter is the power of seed selection. A master gardener would never plant seeds of a plant they did not want to grow. In the same way, you must be incredibly deliberate about the seeds of intention you choose to plant in your precious inner garden. This requires first and foremost clarity. As we have discussed, a vague desire is a weak seed. A clear, specific desire is a potent and powerful one. But even more important than specificity is alignment. The most powerful seeds are the ones that are in authentic alignment with your soul's deepest desires. The practice for selecting these high-quality seeds is the essence inquiry. For any desire you hold, you must look beneath the surface-level form to uncover the core emotional essence you are truly seeking. For example, your initial desire might be, I want to be the CEO of a company. This is the form. By asking why repeatedly, you might discover that the essence you are truly seeking is the feeling of creative leadership and positive impact. This distinction is crucial. Now you can select a seed of intention that is far more powerful. My intention is to experience a life of creative leadership and positive impact. This essence-based seed is of a much higher vibrational quality, and it also allows the universe far more creative freedom in how it delivers that experience to you. It might come through being a CEO, but it could also come through starting your own charity, leading a community project, or 100 other beautiful forms. Once you have selected your pure, high-quality, essence-based seed of intention, the second principle is the art of sacred planting. The act of planting your seed is the act of taking your clear intention and consciously introducing it into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. This is best done in a state of relaxed, receptive awareness. The most powerful practice for this is the planting meditation. Find a quiet and comfortable space. Take a few deep breaths to relax your body and quiet your conscious mind. Then, you will bring your clear intention, your sacred seed, to mind. You will hold this intention not as a thought, but as a feeling. You will then use the power of your creative imagination to plant this seed. You might visualize yourself holding a beautiful glowing seed of light that represents your intention. You will then visualize a beautiful fertile garden in the center of your heart. You will see yourself gently placing this seed of light into the rich, dark soil of your heart space. As you place it there, you will water it with the powerful and life-giving emotions of joy, love, and gratitude. You will feel with all your being the deep and profound gratitude for the magnificent harvest that this seed will inevitably produce. You will feel the joy of already having it. This act of emotional visualization is what energizes the seed and activates its divine blueprint, signaling to your subconscious mind and to the universe that the process of growth has now officially begun. After you have planted your seed, the third principle is protecting the sprout. In the delicate period just after a seed has been planted, it is at its most vulnerable. A single moment of carelessness can destroy it. In the same way, after you have planted your new seed of intention, your old, habitual patterns of doubt and negative thinking will try to reassert themselves. The weeds of your past will try to grow back. You must become a vigilant and loving protector of your newly planted seed. The practice for this is thought weeding. The moment you catch yourself thinking a thought that is contrary to your new intention, a thought of doubt, of fear, of I can't, you must immediately and consciously weed it. You will not fight the thought. You will simply notice it, and then you will gently and lovingly replace it with a thought that is in alignment with your intention. For example, you have planted the seed for a new, abundant business. A few hours later, the old thought, what if I fail, arises. You will notice it, and then you will gently pull it out and plant a new thought in its place. I am a powerful creator, and I am in the process of building a magnificent and successful business. This is the daily moment-to-moment work of the conscious planter. It is the act of consistently and lovingly tending to your inner garden ensuring that your precious new seed has all the space, the light, and the nourishment it needs to grow strong. You have now completed the sacred and powerful act of creation. You have mapped your inner world, you have cleared the soil of old limitations, and you have now planted the magnificent and potent seeds of your desired future. The blueprint has been set, the growth process has been initiated. But a seed, once planted, does not grow strong on its own. It requires consistent and loving care. It needs to be watered with faith. It needs the sunlight of your positive focus, and it needs to be protected from the storms of life. How do you now nurture this new and beautiful inner reality you have planted, protecting your tender sprouts from doubt and ensuring they grow into a strong, magnificent, and inevitable harvest? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 4. Nurturing Your New Inner Reality. A wise gardener knows that the act of planting a seed, while essential, is only the beginning of the creative process. The true art of gardening is not found in that single moment of placing a seed in the earth, but in the patient, consistent, and loving care that follows. A seed, once planted, is a tender and vulnerable living thing. It requires daily watering, it needs the consistent light of the sun, and it must be protected from the pests and harsh weather that threaten its fragile new life. Without this dedicated and ongoing nurturing, even the most potent seed planted in the most fertile soil will wither and die before it ever has a chance to reach its full potential. The same is profoundly true for the new seeds of abundance you have just so consciously planted in the fertile soil of your inner universe. The initial excitement of setting a new intention and creating a new vision is a powerful and beautiful moment. But the real work, the work that determines whether your inner seed will grow into a magnificent outer reality, is in the daily nurturing that follows. The great challenge at this stage is that our attention is easily pulled away. We get distracted by the demands of the outer world, or we allow the familiar pests of our old doubts and fears to creep back into our inner garden and attack the tender new sprout. We fail to consistently nurture our new inner reality, and then we are left wondering why our desires have failed to grow. The transformative solution is to fully embrace your role as a master nurturer of your inner garden. You must understand that your new intention is a living, breathing, energetic reality that requires your consistent and loving attention to thrive. This is the phase of the creative process that requires patience, faith, and a gentle daily discipline. It is about creating an internal environment so nourishing, so supportive, and so filled with light that the growth of your desire becomes an unstoppable and inevitable force of nature. When you become a master nurturer, you are no longer just a planter of seeds. You are a devoted and powerful guardian of your own becoming. You are the loving gardener who tends to their new reality with such care and consistency that its eventual magnificent harvest is absolutely guaranteed. The first and most essential act of nurturing is watering with faith. Just as water is the lifeblood for a physical seed, the energy of your consistent, faithful focus is the lifeblood for your energetic seed. You must water your intention daily with your belief. The most powerful practice for this is the daily revisioning. Each morning, for just a few minutes, you will revisit the beautiful multi-sensory vision of your wish fulfilled that you created when you first planted your seed. You will close your eyes and you will step back into that reality. It is crucial that you do this not from a place of needy, anxious checking, is it here yet? Is it working? But from a place of joyful, confident remembering. You are not trying to make it happen. You are simply and lovingly reconnecting with a reality that you now accept as an inevitable future fact. You are watering your seed not with the energy of lack, but with the high-frequency energy of joyful expectation. This consistent, daily watering with the energy of your faith is what keeps your seed hydrated, alive, and in a state of active, vibrant growth beneath the surface of your conscious awareness. The second act of nurturing is providing the sunlight of positive focus. A plant, by its very nature, will always turn itself toward the light. It instinctively knows that the light is its source of energy and growth. In the same way, you must consciously and consistently turn the focus of your mind toward the light of positivity, evidence, and encouragement. Your mind, by its old habit, may be trained to focus on the shadows, on the problems, the obstacles, and the reasons why your desire might not manifest. Your new job as the master nurturer is to gently but firmly redirect that focus. The practice for this is evidence hunting. Throughout your day, you will actively and deliberately look for small pieces of evidence that your new reality is beginning to grow. This evidence could be a positive comment from a colleague, a small, unexpected financial windfall, a new, creative idea that pops into your head, or simply a moment where you feel a deep sense of peace and confidence. Each of these is a small green sprout pushing up through the soil. Each time you find one, you will consciously acknowledge it and shine the full, warm light of your focused appreciation upon it. By consistently focusing on what is working, on what feels good, and on the evidence of your growth, you are providing your new inner reality with the constant sunlight of your positive attention, which will encourage it to grow faster and stronger. The third and final act of nurturing is protecting the sprout from the inevitable pests of doubt and fear. Even in the most well-tended garden, pests will occasionally appear. In your inner garden, these pests are the old, familiar thoughts of doubt, worry, and fear that will inevitably try to creep back in and nibble at the tender leaves of your new belief. A master gardener does not panic when they see a pest. They do not burn down the entire garden. They calmly and methodically remove the pest and protect the plant. You must learn to do the same with your own negative thoughts. The practice for this is compassionate weeding. When a thought of doubt or fear arises, this is taking too long, or maybe this isn't really possible, you will not fight with it or shame yourself for having it. Fighting the thought is like wrestling with the pest. It only damages the plant. Instead, you will calmly acknowledge the thought's presence. You can say to it, "I see you, old thought of doubt. I acknowledge you." Then, you will gently and lovingly redirect your focus back to the sunlight of your vision. You will not give the doubtful thought your energy or your attention. You will simply let it be, and you will turn your face back to the sun. This compassionate and non-resistant approach is incredibly powerful. It starves the pests of the one thing they need to survive, your focused attention. Over time, as you consistently refuse to feed them, they will wither and disappear, and your new, beautiful plant will grow strong and resilient. You have now planted the magnificent seeds of your desired future in the fertile and receptive soil of your inner world, and you have become a loving, patient, and powerful nurturer of this new reality. You are watering it daily with your faith. You are shining the light of your positive focus upon it, and you are protecting it from the pests of doubt. Deep beneath the surface, a miraculous process of germination is taking place. The roots of your new reality are growing strong. But how do you know when this inner transformation is beginning to break through into your outer world? What are the first, subtle, and beautiful signs that your inner garden is beginning to be reflected in the landscape of your physical life? How do you learn to watch your outer world transform? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 5. Watching your outer world transform. Imagine you are standing in a dark room, holding a powerful movie projector. The film loaded in the projector is a movie of your life, as it has been up until now. A story filled with all of your old beliefs, your past struggles, and your familiar limitations. The white blank screen in front of you represents your physical, outer reality. As the projector runs, the film of your inner world is projected onto the screen, and you see your current life reflected back to you. Now, imagine you have gone through the powerful process of changing the film. You have taken out the old, scratched reel of lack and limitation, and you have replaced it with a brand new, magnificent high-definition film, a movie of the abundant and joyful life you have just planted in your inner universe. You turn the projector back on. What do you expect to see on the screen? Do you expect the entire movie to change in an instant? No. There is a natural, creative transition. The old movie will flicker for a moment, and then you will begin to see the first subtle signs of the new one appearing on the screen. A new color might appear in the corner. A new, more uplifting soundtrack might begin to play. A new, hopeful character might walk into the scene. The great challenge at this stage of creation is that people become incredibly impatient. After doing the profound inner work of changing their film, they stare at the screen of their outer reality, and when they do not see an instantaneous and dramatic change, they lose faith. They mistakenly believe that their inner work has failed, and in their disappointment, they switch the film back to the old, familiar movie of their past. They miss the beautiful, subtle, and magical process of transformation because they simply do not know what to look for. The transformative solution is to become a keen and patient observer of the beautiful unfolding miracle of your own creation. You must learn to watch the screen of your outer world not with an energy of anxious, demanding impatience, but with the joyful, curious, and excited anticipation of someone watching a beautiful new movie for the first time. It is about understanding that your outer world is a lagging indicator of your inner world. It is a reflection in the mirror, and there is always a slight natural delay between the time you change your expression and the time you see that new expression reflected back to you. When you can relax into this understanding and learn to spot the very first subtle signs that your inner shift is beginning to manifest on the screen of your life, your faith will skyrocket. Each small, positive change becomes a thrilling confirmation that your inner work is powerful and effective. This creates a beautiful, self-reinforcing feedback loop. Your inner change creates a small outer change, which you then observe and celebrate, which in turn strengthens your inner state, leading to even greater outer changes. The first principle in becoming a keen observer is to understand and embrace the lag time principle. In our world of instant gratification, we have become conditioned to expect immediate results. When you order something online, you get an instant confirmation. When you send a text message, it is delivered in a second. But the creative process of the universe operates on a more organic and divine timeline. There is a natural and necessary lag time, or buffer, between the moment you shift your inner reality and the moment that shift is fully reflected in your outer reality. This is not a flaw in the system, it is a gift. It gives you time to stabilize your new vibration and to become a true energetic match for your desire before it fully manifests. The practice here is to consciously make peace with this lag time. When you find yourself feeling impatient, you can use a simple, calming affirmation. I have planted my seeds, and I am tending to my inner garden. I trust that the physical harvest will appear at the perfect time and in the perfect way. I am at peace with the divine timing of my creation. By embracing the lag time instead of resisting it, you remain in a state of calm, trusting faith, which is the very energy that allows the manifestation to unfold most quickly. While you are patiently honoring the lag time, the second principle is to learn to notice the sprouts. Long before a great harvest appears, the very first evidence of growth is the appearance of small, tender green sprouts pushing up through the soil. In the same way, long before your final, grand manifestation arrives, the universe will begin to send you small, beautiful signs that your new inner reality is beginning to take root in the outer world. You must train your eyes to look for these sprouts. As we have discussed in other contexts, these can take the form of synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that let you know you are in alignment. But they also appear in other more tangible ways. One form of a sprout is a new idea or opportunity. You might suddenly receive a brilliant, inspired idea that is a perfect solution to a problem you have been facing, or a small, unexpected opportunity that is in perfect alignment with your larger vision might appear. Another form of a sprout is the arrival of helpful people. You might coincidentally meet someone who has the exact knowledge or connection you need, or an old friend might reach out with a word of support at the perfect moment. The most important sprout of all is often the change in your own energy. You might simply notice that you feel more confident, more peaceful, or more optimistic for no apparent external reason. This inner shift is the first and most reliable sprout. The practice is to keep a sprout journal, where you joyfully log these first, subtle signs of growth every single day. The third and final principle is to engage in the feedback loop of acknowledgement. This is where you become an active and powerful participant in the speed of your own manifestation. The universe loves to be acknowledged. Every time you notice a sprout, every time you see a small positive sign that your inner work is being reflected in your outer world, you must consciously and gratefully acknowledge it. This acknowledgement is a powerful signal that you send back to the universe. It is you saying, "Yes, I see that. Thank you. It's working. I love it. Send me more." This grateful acknowledgement acts like a powerful fertilizer for your newly emerging reality. It feeds your sprouts with the high-frequency energy of appreciation, encouraging them to grow faster and stronger. The practice is simple. When you notice a sprout, a synchronicity, a new idea, a helpful encounter, you will pause for a moment. You will take a deep breath. You might place your hand on your heart, and you will say, either silently or aloud, "Thank you. I see this. I acknowledge this beautiful sign of my new reality emerging. I am so grateful." This simple act of closing the feedback loop is incredibly powerful. It transforms you from a passive observer into a conscious amplifier of your own good, a loving gardener who is actively encouraging their beautiful harvest to come forth. You are now watching, with the patient and joyful eyes of a master creator, as the beautiful movie of your new reality begins to appear on the screen of your life. You understand that creation is a process, and you have learned to find joy and confirmation in the first subtle signs of its unfolding. The sprouts are pushing through the soil. But what is the final, most joyful act of all? What is the glorious culmination of all your inner work? How do you now prepare yourself to joyfully and worthily receive the magnificent, abundant, and beautiful harvest that you have so lovingly created within your own inner universe? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 6. Harvesting the Wealth You Created Within. Consider the wise and patient farmer at the end of a long and fruitful growing season. They stand at the edge of their fields, and before them is a magnificent and abundant harvest. The seeds they planted months ago, which they so lovingly nurtured, have now grown into a bounty of ripe, nourishing fruits and vegetables. This is the moment of harvest. It is the joyful and sacred culmination of their entire creative cycle. It is a time for celebration, a time for gathering the fruits of their patient and dedicated labor, and a time for giving deep and profound thanks for the miracle of growth. This is the beautiful and powerful stage you have now reached on your own creative journey. You have done the profound inner work. You have mapped your inner universe. You have cleared the soil of your past. You have planted the sacred seeds of your intention. You have nurtured them with faith, and you have watched with joy as your outer world has begun to transform. Now comes the final and most delightful act, harvesting the wealth you have created within. The great challenge at this final stage, as surprising as it may seem, is that many of us are not very good at harvesting. When our grand manifestation, our big miracle, finally arrives in all its glory, the life-changing opportunity, the significant financial windfall, the loving relationship, we can be overcome with a wave of disbelief, of guilt, or of imposter syndrome. We can feel unworthy of such a magnificent harvest, and in our discomfort we can subtly sabotage it, push it away, or fail to fully receive and enjoy the very fruits we have worked so hard to grow. The transformative solution, the final and most joyous lesson of this entire journey, is to learn to become a joyful and worthy harvester. You must learn to receive your good, to accept your harvest with the same level of grace, intention, and consciousness that you brought to the planting of the seeds. Harvesting is not a passive act. It is the active and courageous art of saying a full-bodied, open-hearted yes to your own good. It is about having the worthiness to accept your blessings without apology, the wisdom to be a good steward of them, and the grace to celebrate them with overflowing gratitude. When you learn to master the art of harvesting, you are completing the sacred, creative cycle in a way that not only allows you to fully enjoy the fruits of your current labor, but that also beautifully prepares the soil for an even more magnificent harvest in the season to come. The first principle of a joyful harvester is the art of graceful receiving. You must learn to receive your blessings with an open and deserving heart. For many of us, this is a surprisingly difficult skill. We have been conditioned to believe that it is more noble to give than to receive, and this can lead to us unconsciously deflecting the good that comes to us. The practice for this is to become conscious of how you receive the small harvests in your daily life. When someone pays you a genuine compliment, what is your automatic response? Do you deflect it by saying, "Oh, it was nothing," or do you graciously accept it by looking them in the eye and saying, "Thank you. I really appreciate that"? When a friend offers to help you, do you insist on doing it all yourself, or do you allow yourself to receive their support? Your new practice is to meet every offer of good, every compliment, and every gift with a simple, open, and heartfelt "Thank you. I receive that." This simple act retrains your nervous system. It teaches your subconscious mind that it is safe and good to receive. By practicing with the small harvests, you are preparing yourself to be able to gracefully and worthily receive the great, magnificent harvest of your grandest desires when it arrives. The second principle is honoring the harvest through wise stewardship. Once your magnificent abundance arrives, it must be honored and cared for. The universe does not waste its resources. It will continue to bless the person who proves to be a wise and responsible steward of its gifts. If you harvest a great bounty of financial wealth, but then manage it foolishly or fearfully, the flow will constrict. If you harvest a beautiful, loving relationship, but then fail to nurture it with your time and attention, it will wither. The practice here is conscious stewardship. When your harvest arrives, you must consciously and deliberately treat it with the respect it deserves. If you receive a large sum of money, you will honor it by creating a responsible plan for how to manage, invest, and use it in a way that aligns with your values. If you receive the gift of a new, powerful career opportunity, you will honor it by showing up fully, by continuing to learn and grow, and by using your new position to provide even greater value to the world. By being a good steward, you are demonstrating to the universe that you are ready for even greater levels of responsibility and abundance. The third and ultimate principle of the joyful harvester is saving the seeds for the next season. A wise farmer knows that a successful harvest is not an ending. It is a beautiful and integral part of an endless cycle. At the end of the harvest, the farmer always saves the very best seeds from their most magnificent fruits to be planted in the next season, ensuring that every future harvest is even more abundant than the last. You must do the same. Each manifestation, each harvest you receive, contains within it the powerful, energized seeds for your next, even greater creation. The practice is the cycle of celebration and expansion. After you have fully received and honored your harvest, you will consciously and joyfully celebrate it. And from that high-frequency state of victorious celebration, you will then ask the powerful, expansive question, "What beautiful new garden do I want to plant next?" You are using the energy of your current success to fuel the creation of your future success. This transforms your life from a linear path with a single destination into a beautiful, ever-expanding spiral of growth, creation, and abundance. You are no longer just a gardener of a single harvest. You have become a master of the eternal seasons of your own magnificent becoming. You have now walked the complete and sacred path of the inner creator. You have learned to map the vast universe within you, to clear the soil by uprooting the weeds of your past, to plant the sacred seeds of your intentions, to nurture them with faith, to watch for the first signs of their growth, and finally, to joyfully harvest the magnificent wealth that you first created within. You now understand the most profound secret of all, that your outer world is nothing more and nothing less than a beautiful, living mirror of your inner garden. The work is not, and never was, about changing the world. It was always about tending to the magnificent, creative, and infinitely powerful universe within you. We have come to the end of our journey together, an exploration into the vast and powerful universe that exists within you. We have traced the path of the sacred gardener, From mapping the inner landscape and uprooting the weeds of the past, to planting the seeds of intention, nurturing them with faith, and finally, to joyfully harvesting the magnificent abundance that is a direct reflection of your inner world. You now hold the blueprint for creation. You understand that to change your life, you must first change yourself, and that your outer reality will always and inevitably follow. May you tend to your inner garden with love, and may your life's harvest be eternally abundant. Thank you for the honor of your time and your commitment to exploring your own magnificent inner universe. It has been a joy to be your guide. If this journey has helped you connect with your own creative power, please consider showing your support by giving this video a like and subscribing to the Success Attraction Formula channel for more guidance. We would be thrilled to hear about the beautiful gardens you are now growing in the comments below.